Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Welcome everyone to Sparking Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone, and today's show is going to really blow your mind because we're going to be talking about what happens when you look into the true mirror and you see your authentic self. Well, I had the lovely experience of doing that at my summit with my guest, John Walker. Welcome, John.
Hi, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And today we're going to be talking to John. He's the creator of the TrueMirror, a groundbreaking, non-reversing mirror that lets you see yourself exactly as the world sees you. For over 40 years, John has studied how authentic self-perception transforms identity, confidence, and emotional connection. He has handcrafted thousands of true mirrors, witnessed over 25,000 people experience life-changing moments of self-recognition, and created viral content viewed more than 500 million times. John's work reveals a powerful truth. We have never actually seen our real reflection until now. Please join me in welcoming the visionary behind the extraordinary discovery of the true mirror. And again, John, it's such a pleasure to have you because being a witness, I witnessed and I put myself in front of your mirror, mm-hmm. and I personally experienced something very transformative from the inside out. Mm-hmm. And we will show that video later, but I'd love for you to give us, the background information about this mirror and why is it so important that we know and we become aware of what has been a misconception that has led us down the wrong path. That's what I can probably say, and become separate from understanding our authentic self.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it was interesting because this was the theme of your summit, yes. was separation, and all the impacts that actually has on us when our spiritual teaching saying we're all one, and then yet we still feel separate. And what I discovered many years ago was that when I was looking into the regular mirror, the person that was looking back at me, which of course we all think is us. We look in the mirror, we say, that's who I am. It's been that way since we were babies. And people always said, there you are. When I suddenly saw myself in a double mirror reflection, it was a medicine cabinet at right angles. I saw something just astonishing, which was completely missing in the regular mirror. And I recognized it, Yeah. And it's funny that the title of your show here is Sparking Change. What I really saw was the sparkle of my eye in my eyes that was coming from my smile. And it's a simple concept, but that when you reverse your face in a regular mirror, that sparkle goes away, and we end up losing one of our best expressions, and no one really kind of is aware of this. And then what's the impact of that? This is kind of a core fundamental, you said misperception, but I mean misconception, but it's starting from a misperception that we're seeing a version of ourselves that just does not match what is real, but it's an interactive thing going on too. So you respond to your face in a way that's not quite real, which then you see on your face, and then that goes back to you, and you respond to your response, and over again at 50 frames a second. We're really rapid in the way we can process information, but it's misinformation, and it's
Right.
been going on your whole life. So once you start to realize, wait a second, my face doesn't properly communicate backwards, and it does when it's not reversed, which is what I discovered in that literally instant I saw myself. I saw my, like I said, I saw my sparkle, and that's information about why am I smiling. And the thing that I recognized, which was so cool, was my happiness. I was having fun with my friends in California, and everything was great. And the mirror had just really said, no, it's not, because you're so fake. You must be fooling those people out there. And this incredible amount of self-criticism, which was just kind of normal. That's kind of
Yes.
what happens in mirrors, and we just don't even realize that it's an artifact of the mirror interaction. It's not real. So my experience, which really kind of was a breakthrough, was that I did a double take when I saw this double mirror thing, because I saw the spark in my eye and I recognized what was behind it, and it was like, oh, there you are. And my smile, which was so fake backwards, suddenly was warm and genuine, because it was reflecting what was inside of me, which was my happiness. And
Yes.
it was just a wonderful moment. And that was literally like 44 years ago. And that's kind of what drives my passion, because it really fixed something inside of me that essentially came back as like, you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. And to think that the all of the criticism that I was having at the moment, and to this day I still can see, is being caused by seeing myself in an inauthentic way and identifying with it because no one told us otherwise.
And it's beautiful too, because you finally realize that it's inside of you, right? The mirror is reflecting what's inside of you. And today, like, a lot of people don't like to look in the mirror and do mirror work. We say, oh, you have to do mirror work. And they don't want to do the mirror work because it's, like you say, it's reflecting what's not true about them.
Right. And so how can you do work with something that's inauthentic?
That's right.
Which is crazy, because that's the core, to me, that's one of the core reasons for people not wanting to do the work. And yet they don't have the identifying idea of why wouldn't you like that? And it's like, no, you're using a tool that's not correct.
Correct. Wow. It's amazing. Amazing. So tell us a little bit about your findings, because you've been doing this for over 30 years. What have you been seeing?
Well, first of all, let me just backtrack a little bit, that the concept is simply two mirrors at right angles. Mm-hmm. And everyone's seen that at a medicine cabinet or in the elevator or any time like that. But there's always a big line in the middle, and that line goes right through your eyes, which means that you can't really make eye contact, which means you can't really communicate using this thing.
Obstructing the view.
There's missing information, especially because your eyes are not right. So the effects that I'm able to create with the TrueMirror is because I've gotten rid of that line. It's literally it's a seamless join of two mirrors, a special glass and special technique. And that's fundamentally why some of these incredible experience people are able to have, because this is the first time literally they've been able to make eye contact with themselves as they actually are. And so the fundamental finding, the thing is that, like, people say, oh my God, there I am. They actually recognize themselves as the full human being that they are. And when we turn back to the regular mirror, they see how much just absolutely disappears of that active being, beautiful, present, dynamic, full of expressions, likable and lovable person that they are, just goes away in a mirror. And it's just, we're kind of left with a fake version that's flat and dull and like, what's to like. So the primary thing that I'm showing people is like, look, this is who you are, as this amazing thing called a human being. And when people see that, their faces light up and they're so happy and they go, wow. And we have these amazing conversations, and, it doesn't stop. As soon as you realize this fundamental principle of human cognition has been faulty for everyone in the human race, and like, what has it done to us? And it's cultural, it's personal, it's lifetime. It's like, whoa, and so this is why this is such a profound idea. Is like, start with the idea that the existing interface to ourselves, which is this mirror, through the primary input output, which is our eyes and our face, has been faulty. It's like it's a broken interface. If you fix the interface, then all of a sudden you actually can make a connection. All of a sudden you're not separated from yourself. All of a sudden you are normal. All of a sudden your expressions are full of light and life, just like they are to anyone else. And so the idea just blossoms from this simple concept. Is like, you are a human being and you've never seen that in a mirror, and that it has messed with you in untold ways.
Yeah. And the mission, like you said before, the mission of Holistic Wellness Summit was just that, right? To help people see that there's something within them that shines, even though they don't think that they're out there making an impact to the world, but they are. During my coaching sessions that I do with my clients, I use that framework, the rainbow. R, reconnect with your authentic self. A, for awareness, becoming aware of not just who you are, but what you are and what you bring to the world. I is for intentions and imagination. N is for nurturing yourself. B is for your beliefs. What are you believing? What's your perception about yourself, right? Because that's kind of like at the core of who we are. What are our beliefs about ourselves that are not true, that we are living by, and putting us on the path of, not fulfilling our desires or our dreams. And O is for being optimistic, and W is for winning. Just because we are, like I said, we are a gift to this world and we don't see it. Right. So, this mirror, making this connection that I had at the summit, truly, again, confirmed me, what I'm here to do and how I'm here to impact people's lives. And I have something to bring to them, where you wouldn't see that if we didn't do this kind of work and believe in ourselves, right? So this mirror stirs something in me that made me understand, like, that day was so important, not only for me, but for the people I impacted. And here you come validating that for me with this mirror. So
that was cool.
It was beautiful. So I
was just gonna go back to Rainbow. It's like the first 5 of those are directly impacted by being able to see yourself authentically. Right. And the second 2 are a result of it, like the recognition, or what was the first one?
Reconnect, right?
Reconnect. So you can definitely like connect for the first time. And also every time you look in the true mirror, you can reconnect. It's like, oh, that's how I am now. This is who I am now. This is what's going on now. And then the awareness, obviously, of like, whoa, this is what's really there. And also the awareness of what have I been looking at in the regular mirror? Wow.
And what I've been telling myself, right? What all the lies I've been telling myself in the regular mirror.
Which is really an artifact of just interacting with this inauthentic being. And no one's told you it's inauthentic. So this kind of really weird struggle is completely unconscious until this moment when you suddenly realize, oh, that's the reverse version. That's not me. The real version, the true version is over here. And look at some of that stuff that I've been telling myself is just not there. Like I'm seeing myself free of all of that kind of self-doubt and criticism that comes from being inauthentic. If I'm being authentic, I'm going to see it in the true mirror and validate myself, which then, goes to the, what was it, the imagination or
imagination and intention, right? We put the intention out there of what is it that we really, and again, we're talking authentically, like, what is it that I really want to do?
Yes. And you can ask
Want to be?
yourself these questions in the true mirror. And as you ask the question, it's like, what's my intention for today? Or if you have an intention, my intention today is going to be this, you can say, is my intention going to be this? And then you're going to say, yes, my intention is going to be, to have a fabulous day. But by asking the question, you put yourself in a dialogue where your face, which has this incredible ability to communicate not only the essence, but also the nuance and the depth and sometimes you get an answer that's yes and no, and you realize, wow, that's one thing I have to work on. But then the affirmation then solidifies your intention, and then you kind of can validate yourself. So this is actually one of the exercises in the True Mirror. Is you ask, you look. My kitty's saying hi. You ask, you look. Hi, kitty. She always likes to sit on my lap. Ask, look, affirm, and validate. So that was the I and intention and imagination. It's like, wow, can I see myself actually being this? It's like, yeah, I can see myself. Right. Because you're seeing the fullness of your humanness coming back from your reflection. And then you look in the regular mirror and it's like it's not there. Like you have to imagine it. The whole fake it until you make it kind of thing of doing affirmations in the mirror. It's like, right, it's really hard. And so that's the I. And then what was then the N was for
nurturing.
Oh gosh, yeah. When you
being
see
compassionate to yourself, and
when you see compassion and empathy for who you are and how you are and what's going on, and it's like for the positive things, for the sad things, and it's like it's just authentic, because the true mirror is going to reflect what's really there, and you can really work with yourself through your pain or through your suffering, through your celebrations, through your boredom, for that matter. It's just like it's but the nurturing part comes from realizing that I am seeing myself as my closest friend would see, and sending love to myself and compassion, because that's what I need, and I'm giving it to myself, and I see myself receiving it. So again, you're having this dialogue back and forth with clarity and focus and truth, and then what was the B is for belief. So obviously all of your beliefs about yourself has been colored by this reversed version, inauthentically telling you stuff that's not quite real your whole life. So deeply ingrained beliefs about who you are and how you are and what people see and what you think you're capable of. You're in a box kind of in the regular mirror where your natural energy is not there. So how can you believe in yourself? So the True Mirror actually helps you raise your self-belief, to, especially if you really want to work on it, and raise it up, and then you get confirmation, or you get the nuance and you say, well, I got to actually still work on that to raise myself up. And of course, then it's a process. And then the other two was the
O for being optimistic, right? But it builds up your confidence, right?
Yes. And then and W is wins, and that's the best part. When something goes really well and you come back to the True Mirror, you go, oh, yes, and you really celebrate that win. It just solidifies it and kind of gets you ready for the next one.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you are looking in the mirror and it's confirming your truth. It's confirming that you're on the right path. It's confirming that there's something that you have that can be seen by others that you don't see in yourself. Because that's the other thing it does. It tells you how people see, what people see in you that you don't see in you.
Yes. And what they see in you is not a static thing.
Right.
That's the key, is that who you are is this, for lack of a word, who you are is a verb. What you look like is kind of a noun, and the way people see you is the way you are being, through your face, through your eyes, through your expressions, through your passions, through your energy, through your work, all of these things are extended over time. And so as we get to know each other, and especially when we actually like and love each other, it's that being part that we like and love. And you can't see that in reverse. So how can you possibly believe in yourself the way other people see you and believe in you? So with the true mirror, you get yourself in sync. So who I am, how I am, what people see, how I come across are things that, like for me personally, I know that pretty well at this point, and I look back at the true mirror, while, especially if I'm talking to someone, it's like, yeah, that's me. And I know that, and I know these gifts. And so when I've operate out in the world with my friends and family, and even people that I don't know, I know that I'm bringing this whole thing to the table that just operates naturally this way. I can just be my authentic self and do my thing. And I understand how people respond to it because, of course, that's how I am. Whereas before I had the true mirror in my life, I was so confused. I literally said to myself in the regular mirror, it's like, I must be fooling those people out there, because this kind of fake, boring, horrible version that's so, wrong. And this is me being very, very critical. Whereas meanwhile, I just had this fabulous time with my friends. It's like, that discontinuity is kind of embedded in every person's experience. It's like, no wonder we have problems. It's like, ugh. I get very passionate about it because it's like, once you dig into it, say, well, wait a second, are some of these personal ills and social ills kind of caused by this faulty interface that we've had?
Right.
And it's possible, it's like, where do we get these horrible negative self-images from? So,
well, I know the answer, but there's different versions of us out there. So the mirror for me at that day helped me to see the true version of me that's out there, that is looking to impact the world, that I have gifts to bring, regardless of what I have gone through. That's a different version of me.
Yes.
Right. So it's setting in my mind that there is another version of me out there.
Yeah.
And that the mirror kind of validated that for me.
Totally. And and truth is like, you were in your element that you had created at this summit, which was a vision of yours from before that you actually had manifested through this, like, okay, this is the self that I am going to be, which is this person who brings this kind of healing energy to the world at this large scale. And look what that looks like. Look at me when I've collapsed the wave function to this version of me instead of that lesser version, which I was years ago, that could never possibly imagine me standing right here. And so you were able to look into your eyes and see and feel and validate, like you said, the version of you that was actually manifesting in that moment, which is just, one of your higher selves. You're probably one of the highest version of you in that moment that you could possibly be, because there you were with this creation that you had done in the moment. And it was beautiful to be able to see that. And to me, that's so core, because the validation totally supports you in your next time and the next time. Isn't that cool?
So let's show everybody the video of me being in front of the true mirror.
The communication is not quite right. You're processing not quite right, but since childhood. So this separates us, and this is kind of root cause in my mind of a lot of where we end up having trouble later.
Absolutely. It's a separation, right. The illusion of separation.
Right. It's caused by just simple thing that's in everyone's experience.
Yes.
Here you take away that separation, and then you can actually work with this person.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? When you finally get it, when you finally connect to your truth, you go back to knowing that anything is possible. Yeah. Anything is possible, and we are the only ones that can really stop us on, put the brakes on. Yeah. So you look at yourself in the mirror, the true reflection of who you are opens up our heart to know that we are connected to the universe. We are the universe. And when we figure that out, that is the secret of life that will take us to a beautiful journey. And it's a short journey, so we have to make the best of it. So this is so wonderful that you're actually doing this work.
So close your eyes for a second. And just think about your connection to the universe. And when you open your eyes, just feel it as it exists.
I can't cry right now. I have a summit to go to and mess up my makeup. But yes, the feeling of knowing that we are one with the universe. We are that wave that's on the ocean. We're not separate from the ocean. We are the wave. And so coming back home to ourselves, our true self, is what I discovered after my cancer journey. And I have to say this, don't wait for something like that. Take action now. There's a spark inside of you that is ready to just connect and allow it to happen. What you're seeking is seeking you. So this is what this summit is about.
Wow.
Wow. The more I watch it,
Yeah,
it
right.
becomes very teary, because to see that in the mirror,
In your own eyes. That's the thing. Your eyes are the windows to your soul, and you were expressing your soul to soul in that moment at this higher level. It's so beautiful.
oh my goodness.
I know, me too.
Yeah, right. Just knowing that everyone's searching for peace, happiness outside. Like something's going to make it something, maybe the big car, the big house, the nice car, the money in the bank. We're all searching for that peace and happiness, and it's not out there. It's not out there. It's in here. And that mirror did exactly that. That mirror reflected back to me love. I am love. I am peace. I am happiness. And a byproduct of feeling all of those emotions within me allows me to obtain all those things authentically. Your life changes from the inside out. And that's where the spark is. That your soul's living inside of you, that wants to express the true nature of who you are, of what you are. And so, the work that you are doing for 30 years and you haven't given up, because you know the impact. And I highly recommend everyone to go check out his Instagram. It's the amount of testimonials and people looking in the mirror and seeing the impact that this mirror has made on millions and millions of people. I was looking at it this morning, and I would tell you I was crying, not only for my video, but for the one that you pinned and others that are out there. It truly, truly brings out your true self, your authentic self.
What's the value of being your authentic self? Like for some people it might be, like, how could you ask that question? Of course, and other people, I don't know, like, why would I care about being authentic? And to me, the synchronizing of my experiences with my internal state and having them match up and be flowing and joyful and full of ease and like, so that to me is where one of the benefits of being authentic and acting authentically and having authentic experiences is builds this experience of my life that's just rich and full and powerful and fun and flowing and I don't look up and go, oh my God, what am I doing? Kind of thing. That and clarity, all of these bonus effects that come from living authentically. And what the true mirror allows is me to see what that looks like and validate what it looks like. And I got to say, if I'm not living authentically, if I'm out of integrity, I'm going to see that in the true mirror, and I'm going to have to kind of deal with it. So there's been times that I had to kind of course correct, say, look, you can't be doing that. This is not kind of what you want to be doing with your life. You need to be doing, stop that and do more of this. And then when I do that, then I get confirmation. Good on you. You're doing good. Keep going.
Right.
And I don't feel I get any of that from my regular mirror image. I just get kind of this jumbled, same old, regardless of what's going on, just judgmental and critical and all this kind of weird stuff, that contradicts or doesn't support my authenticity in the world. So
right. It's unfortunate, but we have built what Bob has, and I mentioned I study with Bob Proctor. And one of the first very shows that I studied with him was the paradigm shift, right? And I'm like, paradigm? What does he mean by paradigm? And I started understanding that, paradigm are a multitude of habits, beliefs that guide our life, right? So what are we believing? There needs to be a paradigm shift in what we believe about ourselves at the core, to understand that, yes, we can achieve whatever it is we want, right? We're able to, if we want, there's nothing that we can't learn. There's nothing that we can't do unless we say we can't do it, right? So it's having a different perception of ourselves. And sometimes it's hard to just, to do it by just repeating it. But when this mirror came into play and I realized how effective it can be, even for my clients, to just take a look in the mirror, the true mirror, to see what is it telling you. Because sometimes we don't believe anybody else but ourselves. If we're looking at our true self.
Right.
I remember when I don't care to go back to that time, but I'll do it. When I had to say, I'm going to survive cancer, regardless what the tests say, regardless what anybody tells me, regardless what the research says, regardless of everything, I'm going to believe that I'm going to survive it. And I had to ingrain that deep in my soul.
Right.
Right. And so that's what my true self wanted. I wanted to survive. I wanted to be here. I wanted to see my daughter get married. I wanted to see, and my son. I wanted to see them both grow up and be there for them. So having that confirmation when you look in the mirror and look in your eyes is knowing that and understanding that all things are possible. So no matter where you are in your life, I now see I have a twin, a twin that tells me all things are possible. Even though there's that other version saying, I think you're crazy. I know now that I can go to the other side of what I want, and the mirror and the true mirror. Absolutely. When you look in your, in your eyes and you see that glimmer, and you see that spark, that's the direction it's going to take you in.
Yeah.
Right. And,
absolutely. And, when you think about your journey from having cancer to saying, I'm not going to be taken down by this, I'm going to survive this. The methodology that Bob Proctor is all about, really focusing and repeating that. And when it's life or death, it's pretty easy to repeat something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what, kind of came through when we were talking about this was that when I think about how the true mirror can help people, there's different exercises or the different protocols or this whole thing about, mirror work, for instance. And it's a little complicated because, everyone is so different and everyone has a different relationship to their mirror self anyway. And how do you break through? And and what came through was this whole idea of repetition. Okay.
Mhm.
Is not repeating so much any particular protocol, but just repeating, making eye contact. Like you had a moment where you got to make eye contact and connect to yourself at that moment in the space of the summit. And then, if you have one at home and you're brushing your teeth and you're making eye contact with just, that's me right now. And then some other time you're going there and it's like, I've got some really thing I'm upset about. I'm going to check in and see how I'm really feeling and kind of dialogue. And now another time I'm going to be setting intentions. And so all of those things, every single time you make eye contact is the repetition, even though what
Right.
actually is happening is could be different. And this was just such a breakthrough because that's kind of how it's been for me. Like the instance I saw it 40 years ago to the time I was brushing my teeth this morning is like this connection that is giving me my authentic self in this moment as it is, whatever I'm doing. And that's the solidification of my internal self-image is being reinforced
Right.
accurately over and over again every time. So it just kind of eased up the whole pressure of like, how does this work for people? It's like, well, you could do all these different things, but just do them. You know,
Right. Right.
if you're not one for affirmations, just, eyeball yourself in the morning and just see what's there. If you like to talk to yourself verbally. That's powerful. If you want to do affirmations, you want to ask if you so that was just really powerful for me because I want to bring this to people, but I don't really know that there is a particular, program you could do step by step. Here's some guidelines, but to be able to say, just make the eye contact on a regular basis and the transformation will happen.
I love what happened, but not just, affirmations are being repeated. What's happening is that you're also having an emotional impact from it.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to me, when I used it at the show, right?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
I connected to my true self
Mm.
to share a message that came from my heart, from my soul, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
And it was emotional.
Mm.
And again, we learn how do we change a belief about something
Mm.
in the subconscious mind, right?
Mm.
Below consciousness. And so we understand that, yes, repetition works, saying affirmations, writing them, but the true impact comes in when it's emotional. That's when you can shift it. And I'll give a perfect story on 9/11, right? 9/11, people, if I say to you, where were you when that plane hit the building?
Yeah.
Everybody remembers what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that was such an emotional impact
Sure.
to our being that we'll never forget that. But because of that incident,
Mm.
people have now decided, okay, I'm never going into the city. I'm never going to fly another plane. So I want to just connect that to our lives growing up.
Mm-hmm.
We've had traumas in our life, emotional traumas in our life. No
Mm.
one escapes traumas. No one has grown up in a perfect family. If you
Right.
have, I want to meet you. Come and meet me. But no one has grown up with,
And even if you had a perfect family, that can be traumatizing
and
later.
that can be true. If you want to look
It's
at it
like,
from that
wait,
perspective.
I'm not prepared for life, because I didn't have the proper trauma in my childhood.
That's absolutely true because you weren't able to figure out how to manage it. So um,
Crazy.
that is so those experiences that we had
Mm.
actually take away our joy
Mm.
until we go back and say, okay, I recognize it, I process it,
Mm.
I have compassion for whoever, whatever
Right.
caused that to happen, and for myself,
Mm.
and move on.
Yeah.
And I believe that we are all, we're all interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're still holding on to something that your uncle did, or your father did, or your mother did, you're never actually letting go,
Mm-hmm.
which creates a distortion
Mm-hmm.
of who you truly are,
Right.
of your authentic self.
Right. Right.
Because your authentic self loves unconditionally,
Mm.
forgives unconditionally,
Mm.
you know, helps others unconditionally.
Right.
And so when you are doing things unconditionally from your heart to help others, help
Mm.
yourself, help others, because you're
Mm.
authentic to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
then you will see the ripple effect, right?
Right.
This is how the world changes. This is how humanity will now come together.
Right.
There's no separation, because when you practice all the love that you have for yourself and for others,
Mm-hmm.
now you're reconnecting to your true self.
So I totally agree, and I just wanted to go back a couple steps to what you said before about when you were experiencing yourself in the summit, you became emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and that emotion absolutely solidified what was going on. You weren't just casually observing, this concept of being connected. You were really feeling it, and
Yes.
it's deep and true and passionate. And one of the things when I was saying about, and so that the fact that you're able to see that for yourself in the moment kind of is this deeper validation. And so emotions show up properly when your face is expressing them properly, so you can
Yes.
stay with them. So one of the protocols, or one of the places it's going to find its usage, is in therapy. So if you're trying to process some past traumas that you've had, especially around family stuff. I mean, the fact that your parents said no is traumatic, and that
Right.
was their job. But so the idea is like, if you're going through and doing the talk therapy with someone, but in the true mirror, and you suddenly start to trigger the emotional, and that you see the emotion, of course, you end up responding to it. All of a sudden, you can actually go deep in the past experience emotionally, which is way more, cathartic and
Yeah.
healing, to actually tap into it and realize, wow, I didn't realize how much that is actually affecting me. And then after you've shared an emotion, you get released from it, especially if that's not serving you anymore. So this is the promise of the true mirror, especially when it's picked up in that kind of therapeutic sense.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. It's actually bringing up, things that you need to let go, right? And also providing self acceptance,
mm-hmm,
like so that you can see your true self in it, and say, okay, I understand,
mm-hmm,
and you're ready to heal from that and move forward to just shining your light on others. I do believe that when we are in the space of not seeing our true reflection, our true
mm-hmm,
self, we're really working with something that is actually keeping us separate from
mm-hmm,
that, from
yeah,
our true self.
mm-hmm,
So it's like, and we can be with our true self and not, and not authentic at the same time,
mm-hmm.
right? So if we're working from being authentic, you start to feel different. You
And
start
this
to act
just
different.
this just brings to mind is like this work is multifaceted. You're doing the work, as in you are going to workshops, you're reading, you're doing practices, and this and this and this. And my feeling about the true mirror is it's a tool
To apply.
to apply and work with your work, okay,
Yes.
to validate and so forth. And so the thing is, you still need to do the work. You still need to dig. You still need to kind of process. You still need to come from your higher self. You still need to, seek and work towards a higher goal. And the true mirror will then be your supportive ally in that process. I
Correct.
think this is really my vision for this, um, and then to realize that if you don't have it, if you've had just the regular mirror, you can do all the work in the world, and you'll still get contradicted by this inauthenticity that you say. It's like, yeah, I'm not really that loving, am I? And it's like, no, the mirror is just taking away the love from you, so you can't see it. So the true mirror is like, yeah, I'm this really cool person that is not only lovable but loving, and that's how I run my life. And how beautiful is that? And I don't have to work at it. It's just visible. You know what I mean?
Right. And you can see it yourself, and you can go without technology, without anything behind it. This is the real you.
Yeah.
And I have to say, talk about with technology, to me, I bless you if you sneeze. For me, I see technology as staying, keeping us disconnected. Right. And we also had a talk during the summit, how, we're looking down, we're totally staying away from looking at ourselves.
Right.
And so when you stay away from looking at yourself, then how could you improve, and work towards your goals if you don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror?
Right. And this is the key, is that this is species wide. Every single human being has a particular unique to them relationship to themselves in a mirror. So some people don't want to look. Some people look too much. Some people are incredibly vain. Some people are incredibly shallow. Some people are deep and struggle. Like one woman said, you have no idea how much the mirror has tortured me. Thank you for this. So everyone is so different. And so when you say some people don't want to do the work and actually, confront themselves in the mirror, it's like, well, understandably, because the mirror is kind of screwing with them. But to fix it, to say, okay, here's your true reflection, you still then have to choose, okay, I am going to work with this true version of me. And my belief is that this is way more productive. You're going to get a whole lot further down your path when the true version of you, the authentic version of you, is mirroring your authenticity. And you go, yeah, okay, that's actually true for me. Including, your failings. I mean, not for nothing, we are human beings, so we're not perfect. And you're going to see it in your eyes and kind of have compassion for it. It's like, yeah, I'm trying, and you can do exercise. Am I making progress towards my better self? Yeah, I am. And you can support yourself in your path, and you walk away with a sense of, you're a human being, you're a spiritual being in this human body, doing these doing life, and now you have visual confirmation of what that is like. Especially if you're working on yourself, you're going to see the progress. You're going to see yourself actually, yeah, I'm doing better and better because I'm working on myself better and better.
Right. You said the magic words. You said, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah.
Life is not happening to us. Life is happening through us.
Yeah.
So when we really understand that concept, right, we really become more aware of what is possible for us.
Yeah. Right.
And I love that. So final question.
Yep.
You've been working with AI system to kind of integrate, some of the framework of the TrueMirror research. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, for the last 4 months or so, I've been working with Claude AI, which is good because you can make projects and stuff. And starting from that very simple premise, it's technically bilateral communication information disruption. Like the regular mirror disrupts this information that's coming different from left and right sides because we're built that way. From that simple concept, this entire framework shows up. It's like, wow, this actually has implications for child development. This has implications for neuroscience, autism, PTSD, therapy, animal research, and all of a sudden, some of the theories of who we are as human beings, you suddenly realize they've been built on this concept that's been having this inauthentic mirror in their life. What happens when you re-examine it? And so it's very easy for me to say, okay, let's, how does the hard problem, do you know what the hard problem is?
The brain coherence?
The hard problem is a philosophical concept from one of the philosophers about we don't know what consciousness really is because we can't directly apprehend it. We can't measure it. And so how does the true mirror actually affect this hard problem? It's like, well, yes, you can look in your eyes and you're seeing yourself consciously, so write a paper about that, and boom, all of a sudden there's a paper about child development, paper about autism, paper about PTSD. So I'm doing all these research papers and proposals that will build this framework up that will hopefully come out in the next month or two, and kind of blow the world away and say, oh my God, there's this thing. And I'm super excited that AI is helping me put words to something I've known about for years, and then giving it data, like, hey, look at this video. And it's doing stuff like, oh my God, the difference is like 500% more joy in this person, and this marker, and it's like, this is a impact value. The D Cohen value is 3.8. And everything over 1 is considered really significant. And I'm way off the charts. It's like, whoa. So being able to have data that goes along with what I believe is a profound experience has been super, super wonderful. And I can't wait for it to come out in formal papers.
Beautiful. But you have the evidence too. It shows your videos where people are shown to see their true self and the reflection they get back when they look in their eyes.
And they see the light in their eyes. And that light is something that absolutely goes away backwards. And that light comes from our more positive, uplifting, present. I can look in your eyes, and if you're smiling, I can say, I'm seeing you through that light. If you're just like expressionless, like I'm seeing kind of a face. But if you show up, it's like, whoa, that light shows up over and over and over again. There's more than 1,000 videos on my channel of people going, wow.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I love it. So I will share with everyone the good news that we're going to have something here live in the studio on December. So John is going to come and demonstrate, have the mirrors here if anybody would like to come on December 7th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. I will definitely post it on Facebook, but
likewise on my channel, I'll post it.
I'm super, super excited because I do know that this is something that will bring out the best in all of us. We can finally connect to understanding, what we truly are, and knowing that we're all here to serve each other, and we're all here to, give our gifts to the world and reconnect with our authentic self is the number one thing that must be done, the foundational of ourselves in order to achieve whatever else we want to achieve while we're here, right?
Yeah.
So, John, I thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
The work that you're doing has absolutely impacted me, and I'm sure it's impacted millions. And it's going to stay alive. You're going to create a legacy here. I know you are. You've had this passion for 30 years. You haven't given up, and I think the time has come for people to realize there's something more in them. They don't know how to connect to it.
Yeah.
And people like yourself and myself who are saying, yes, there is. Yes, there is. There is something very special inside of you that, you're here for a reason, for a purpose. And once you discover what that is, you start living the life that you're meant to live. So I'm super excited to have you here in person. And I look forward to, great partnership and connection going forward. And if anyone wants to contact John right now, you can contact him at your website, TrueMirror.com.
Sure. Absolutely.
And any final words?
I think thank you for seeing it this way, and I think the paradigm is shifting.
It sure is.
And it's coming from all places, and I think the paradigm shift towards living authentically is going to yield so many bonuses and benefits for us personally, but also for our society. And we kind of need it. We're kind of reaching a tipping point. And my appreciation and love for anyone that's working in that direction is just unbounded. I love it. And so thank you for doing your work.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for supporting my work.
Thank you. And so this is what happens when you finally see yourself authentically in the true mirror. You start to love the work that you do. So I appreciate you, John, and thank you everyone for joining us. Until next time, I'm your host, Giovanna Tardarone, and this is Sparking Change with Gigi. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.